Those that come to my YouTube channel know I break down a lot of the current hoaxes that are taking place in the media. The Psyops that push agendas of the divide and conquer. And a lot of people on YouTube that make videos, they cover current events. What I like to do is go back in time and cover past events and break those down as well. And one thing I took a look at is the Rodney King and the police brutality story that took place back in 1992. And taking a closer look at that, I found a lot of interesting things about that. You know, I've made videos about the O.J. Simpson trial as well, which was nothing more than, again, another divide and conquer news story. Now to take a look at the Rodney King psyop, I'm going to break this down right now. And while doing some research on Rodney King and the riots that took place, again, like I stated back in 1992, I saw this documentary that took place in 2011 on CNN with Don Lemon. Just take a look at his hands here during the beginning of this documentary with Rodney King. That's all you got to see. A Masonic hand sign. I'll talk about this a little bit later in the video. This is very important with those that know about Freemasonry and the hand signs.
Security to a national symbol of police brutality. The brutal beating that took place here along Foothill Boulevard in Los Angeles, California, would reverberate across the country. A city in flames. Entire neighborhoods burned to the ground. Now, 2 decades later, what's it like to be the man whose beating, seen round the world, ignited one of the worst race riots in U.S. history?
Okay, now let's take a look at some footage here. Of course, everybody knows how Rodney King looks like. Now let's take a look at the footage of the supposed beating of Rodney King. And I analyzed this more than a few times, and something caught my eye. The first thing I was looking for when I was watching the video is if it was real or not. Because a lot of times, you know, just like, say, pro wrestling, they could be beating on someone and it's fake. You know, there's no other words to put it than looking unrealistic. Well, in the case with Rodney King and the beating that happened to him, I looked at that footage very carefully, and there was nothing fake about the actual beating. But the problem I came across, let's take a look at the video here. Got a little clip here. You could take a look and see.
And the jury understood that Rodney King was always the aggressor. Rodney King had the ability at any time to say, that's it, I don't want any more, and he never did.
Now, taking a look at this beating that took place here with supposedly Rodney King, there's an issue I have. Like I said, I was looking for any type of fakery, you know, the blows to him that if they didn't look realistic. Well, the thing is, there wasn't a real beating that took place. But after looking at this video very carefully, it wasn't Rodney King, it was somebody else. So what they did was, they used an actual police beating video and claimed it was Rodney King. It's like they edited it all together. They took old footage of police actually beating someone up and pieced it together like a movie, and they stated it was Rodney King when it was not. Now I'm going to show some images right here. Now before I go to the images, I want to point out something. You know, with all these hoaxes and psyops, it's all about the numbers and dates. And taking a look of this supposed date it took place, March 3rd. March, of course, being the third month of the year. That's the 3. You got the third day, you have 33. With all the psyops, all the hoaxes, you're going to get that number 33. Another thing I want to mention as well, 4 policemen are charged on March 15th. So you got 4 policemen. It's like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. In March, again, you get the number 3. And you get 1 and 5 is 6. You get 3 and 6. And that's 666. Now, taking a look at some of the still frames from the video of the supposed beating of Rodney King, one thing I noticed, getting a close-up of this person, their skin looks a little bit lighter, and the hair looks like a Caucasian. It doesn't look like the hair of a black person. I'm going to get a closer look at that right here. Clearly see this hair and this skin tone does not look like Rodney King. I get some other images here, taking a closer look. Now to me, again, this looks like a light-skinned man, doesn't look like Rodney King. That hair just doesn't look right. Doesn't look like Rodney King at all. More images here. Now, are you going to tell me this is Rodney King? I don't think so. This is someone else. And as far as fitting all the pieces together, they're going to claim it's Rodney King being filmed and beaten. But again, if you look at the footage in its entirety, you're going to see there's some actual, it's a pretty brutal beating. It wasn't fake. That's for sure. The question isn't if this guy got beat up, it's who got beat up. And for what I can tell, with careful observation, it was not Rodney King. Like I said, you can clearly see that. Again, looking at this image, does not look like a black man. Looks more like a white man. Now, to understand, again, the 33, which I discussed earlier with the date of March 3rd. March 3rd being 33. Now, in history, with all the psyops, you're going to get that number 33, which, of course, is the highest degree in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Now, let's take a look here, some past psyops. I've covered this before in the past with the O.J. Simpson trial. Okay? Now, with the Goldman and Brown families filing a lawsuit for the civil trials for $33 million. Okay, understand one thing as well. The name Simpson, just like the cartoon, the name Simpson in numerology is 33. Now, this is the case from Las Vegas back in 2008, where he's sentenced to 33 years in prison. Now, one thing I want to point out here, now let's take a look at this case with O.J. from back in 2008. After he gets the sentence of 33 years, let's take a look at some of the photos in the courtroom. Here's his daughter. She's got kind of a smirk. You know your father's going to be pretty much sent away for the rest of his life. This does not match the circumstances, the situation. All theater. Now looking at some of the images of O.J. See the attorney? See O.J. Duping delight. More images. Do you think this guy's concerned? Of course not. He's an actor. It's all theater for the gullible masses to buy. Smiling again. Complete joke. More of the same. Smirking. Smirking. Complete joke. This guy's not going to spend a single day in prison. Never did. For the supposed murders of Nicole Brown. Simpson. Nothing but a psyop. Again smiling. And like I said, with all these racial psyops, you can see that number 33. Here's O.J.'s friend, A.C. Callings, in the white Bronco. Of course, the white Bronco is a reference to the white horse in the Bible. You get the 33 here in the die 33. And these digits here, 5, 3, and 3 equal 11. So again, all about the numbers. And with all these news stories, all these fabricated news stories, you're going to have connections. And one thing to remember, again, with all these psyops, there's always connections. It's like to be continued, like a movie, where O.J. Simpson, of course, for those that remember, his chicken restaurant, his fried chicken restaurant, Pioneer Chicken, was destroyed supposedly during the riots. So you're going to see that connection with O.J. in the Rodney King case. And more examples how the psyops are all connected. With Columbine, this psyop, with Eric Harris supposedly having plans to crash a plane into New York and now setting up 9/11. So they're planting a seed in your head subconsciously. With all these psyops, it's like a movie. It's to be continued. Just like, skipping ahead here a little bit, just like Sandy Hook was mentioned in the Batman from the theater shooting, and also in Colorado. It says Sandy Hook on the map. So this was setting up, again, how they set up future psyops from a current psyop. They're all connected. Again, Sandy Hook on the map from the theater shooting movie, The Batman, The Dark Knight Rises. Now, to understand the deception that's taking place in the media today, with all the shooting hoaxes, all the racial divide and conquer stories, we have to go back in time. With this presentation, I need to start it off from the very start to lay the foundation so people understand. It all makes sense when this video series is over. It's probably going to go over the 15-minute mark. That's the limit I have on each video, so let's get right down to it. The Masons have an old saying, out of evil comes good. However, in the confusion of tongues gave rise to the ancient practice of Masons conversing without the use of speech. And that's why you'll have these symbols that replace a true meaning, in this instance with Baphomet, which is nothing more than the satanic god, the goat god of the Masons. I'll show an image of their god Baphomet, nothing but an androgynous being, male, female parts, the goat's head, as above, so below. Now, with this 33-degree Mason, you'll see that symbol for Baphomet. Of course, they can't have the actual image. They'll basically expose themselves by doing that, so they have to have, again, this image to replace Baphomet. Now, you see some more Freemasons here wearing the hat, the symbol for Baphomet, and you'll see the number 33. And to understand the number 33, I have a video series. It's a two-part video. It's called The Occult History of the 33rd Degree of Freemasonry. I really highly recommend this to understand the 33. Getting back to the imagery here. Understand the Founding Fathers were not Christians. They were Freemasons. Now, I need to say this real quick. I'm not putting down all Masons. You know, just like all religions, like Catholicism, there's millions and millions of good Catholics. There's many good Freemasons, but at the very top, these men are Satanists. Now, George Washington, you'll see listed here, him as a Freemason first and first president second. Notice, in the school system, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, university, they never mention Freemasonry. These are the ones that control society behind the scenes. So there's a reason. They control the school system. So they're not going to out themselves. That's part of the deception. That's why you never hear about Freemasonry in the public school system. Now, to understand this very famous motto of the 33rd degree of the Freemasonry, It's called order to chaos. They create chaos. And when the dust settles, they get their order. Now, as far as all these fake news stories, these psyops you see on CNN and Fox News, this is the reason of the order of chaos. You'll see this displayed. You're going to see hand signs with this image of the inverted pyramid. And you're going to see the number 33 in news stories. And I'll explain. Now here's some puppets in the game. You know, this is nothing new. It goes back from the very beginning. You know, before Hitler, but here's an image of Hitler, Trump, Michelle Obama. All these are puppets in the game. All Masons playing a role. Here's Poroshenko of Ukraine displaying his allegiance sign of Masonry with Obama here. As you can see, the US dollar has the pyramid, as does the Ukraine dollar. The all-seeing eye of Lucifer on both images. Now, we have Chancellor Merkel from Germany displaying the inverted pyramid. Another Mason, of course. Now, other symbols, not to get off subject, but important when it comes to Masonry. This is the sign of silence with Masonry, meaning tell no secrets. You'll see Darwin here with the theory of evolution, nothing but a lie. And he's basically saying, I'm keeping silent about the truth. Obama as well. Kerry, Clinton. The name Clinton, that surname, she was married to, of course, Bill. Clinton is 33 in numerology. Ozzy Osbourne, Oz. That's 777. That's for another video. Now, the puppets in the game, in the music industry in Hollywood. These are not Masons per se. They're just puppets, hired puppets, and told to do these symbols. And the reason they do that is so their fans do the same thing, unknowing of the true meaning. Basically mockery. Now right here, you have Alan Dershowitz, the very famous defense attorney, well known for the O.J. Simpson trial. And you'll see him right here doing that inverted pyramid. Now I'll get back to him later with the O.J. Simpson hoax trial that took place. I'll explain that. Now what you have here is former Southern General Albert Pike. You see that number 33. And he's the one that basically created the KKK. And you'll see the reason the C was turned to a K. So you get 11, 11, 11 equals 33. Okay, now this is Justin Timberlake. Now, this is mockery right here. You've got two black females with this white man. And they got a 3 and a 3. And this is very insulting if you're a black person. Of course, this is mockery, and this, 99% of society will not understand this. But these two black women are holding the sign, or wearing the sign for the KKK. It's meant as mockery. Very sad. The elite that run this world love to mock. Now understand with news stories, 33 is not always going to be as it seems. You're going to see that number 33 as in CC. Just like with Columbine, that hoax that took place in Columbine, Colorado, CC equals 33, like I said. Nothing but a psyop. Fear equals control. Later on, gun control. This is planting the seed. They're very patient with the gun control that's going to take place in the future. Predictive program with this book from October of 1991. It's called The Final Exam. If you fail, you'll just die. And the high school is Columbine High School. And for anybody that doesn't believe this is an actual book, you can get it off Amazon. You can see it's published in 1991. Now with more shooting psyops. This one from Virginia Tech from a few years back. Again, you'll get that number 33 in these psyops. Supposedly 33 dead. But of course, no one died. Now, Getting back to Alan Dershowitz from the O.J. Simpson trial, again, you'll see that inverted pyramid. And like I said earlier, you're going to see the inverted pyramid and the incorporation of the number 33 all in one. And there you go with the Brown and Goldman family supposedly suing O.J. for $33 million. Again, this is nothing but a hoax, nothing but a divide and conquer news story. O.J. did not kill anyone. This was a divide and conquer news story. Again, with 33. Another psyop with the supposed O.J. stealing his own merchandise back in Las Vegas. O.J. never spent a day in prison. He's part of the game, of the world stage. And again, Simpson in numerology is 33. So they like to incorporate people in the game that either have last names, first names, or full names that equal 33. And I'll point more of that out later on in this video. Now, more recent history with this Walter Scott psyop. Understand, Michael Slager, 33 years old. All you need to see to understand is nothing but a hoax, nothing but a psyop, another divide and conquer story. Understand, Michael, again, just like Simpson, get 33. Again, with the inverted pyramid, this is Walter Scott's supposed brother. Again, inverted pyramid. Walter Scott is psyop with, again, Michael Slager. You get the NWOO, that's New World Order Officer. Of course, they'll give, the official meaning will be different from the true meaning. They're always going to give us false meanings to everything. Now, looking at another puppet in the game, why would I bring up M&M? It's relevant with this hand sign, a Masonic hand sign. And of course, M&M, M-M, you turn the M and M sideways, you get the 33 in Freemasonry. So you get 33 in the inverted pyramid. Walter Scott's brother. Again, with all these psyops, you're going to get the Masonic hand signs. And with the Mike Brown psyop right here, again, all the symbols are there. Always going to be present. Now, regarding the Trayvon Martin case, I pointed out the Masonic hand signs. Now, the only thing I need to point out is the number 33, and it's going to be there, like all the hoaxes, all the psyops. Taking a look here at this video from Representative Frederica Wilson. Now, notice the time is 3:29. 1 minute, of course, till 3:30. She gets exactly 1 minute by the House Speaker. And look at the number displayed. Complete mockery. And again, realize everybody here in Congress, they're all Masons. They're all in the know. They know exactly what's taking place.
Without objection, the gentlelady is recognized for 1 minute.
One thing I should mention is this is, of course, in the East Coast. They're flashing Pacific time, but again, the 3:30 will be relevant because this is of course in Washington, and their local time is 3:30. Again, the 33.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today.
Now notice when she speaks, you see her kind of smiling, not distraught, taking this pretty casual for a supposed murder. She knows, as well as everybody in Congress, they're all Masons. This is all theater for the gullible masses to buy. This is part of the divide and conquer. Just like the O.J. Simpson trial, where they divided us. Understand, I made a video on that as well. Understand that everybody involved in the O.J. Simpson trial, all the lawyers, and even the DA, Gil Garcetti, he's a producer and actor in Hollywood. The closer, Major Crimes, the DA. It's ridiculous how people can't see through this. This is the way they do it. The divide and conquer. They It keeps us all fighting and the eyes off those that rule. Just take a listen to more what she says. Again, she's not distraught at all.
Because I made a promise to Trayvon. I made a promise to his mother. I promised to stand up for Trayvon. I promised that I would rise every day and let the world know how long it has been since he was murdered. Today marks 33 days since Trayvon's death. 33 days without justice. I want to let Trayvon know that I'm going home this.
You see how detailed they are with his 33, how deep the number 33 is to them? 33, 33. I can't say it enough. I know I sound like a broken record. Just trying to hammer the point.
Evening. I'm going home because votes have finished for the week. But I will be back. The vigil will not stop. It will continue. Every day the house is in recess. I will
Seem kind of happy, lady, for something that you're so concerned about.
tweet to the world an update on how many days have passed without justice. And this Sunday, I will personally host a rally back home, Trayvon's home in Miami, Florida. Mr. Speaker, I want Trayvon to know that he is not forgotten. He is missed and he is loved. And we will continue to stand up for justice for Trayvon. Thank you.
Ended exactly at 3:31. Wow. Unbelievable. Well, I'm going to continue part 2 of this video because on YouTube I only have a 15-minute limit. Now continuing with part 2 of this video series, continuing with Mike Brown, that Psyop. Again, you'll see that inverted pyramid. There's a close-up. And this is supposedly Mike Brown's mother. Inverted pyramid. And again, the number 33. So like I stated in the first video, you always see that symbol, inverted pyramid and 33 in one. George Soros supposedly donating $33 million to the demonstrators. They're in Fox News. And he throws up the inverted pyramid as well. Why not? He's one of the top players in the world stage. Again, inverted pyramid. Now, back to the Trayvon Martin case. Kind of jumping around back and forth of these stories. They are nothing but stories. With Trayvon Martin's dad, this Illuminati card game from 1995, showing how these stories are scripted well in advance before they're released to the public with a divide and conquer. His dad, Tracy Martin, wearing a Freemason outfit. Trayvon Martin, you'll see no blood, of course, because he never died, just an actor. The tarot card, the Hangman. You see that foot in the same position, basically. Now, moving on to the Freddie Gray Psyop. And you'll see the mayor from Baltimore with the eagle, just like the on the Order Out of Chaos eagle from Freemasonry. And of course, she's doing the inverted pyramid. Again, doing it behind the mic, kind of obscure, but you can see it. Now, Freddie Gray's supposed twin sister, Frederica. You see someone here standing, doing that same sign. Close up. Now with the Sandra Bland story that just happened recently. Again, obscured by the mic, but doing the same hand sign. All Masons in the game. All these police chiefs, all the judges, all the politicians, they're all working together. This is how they pull it off. This is how they pull off. People say, well, someone will talk. Someone will come out in front and say something. Well, they're all working together. So they're not going to talk. They're not going to say anything. This game's been rigged from the start. You've been deceived your whole life. Your whole life believing these people are telling the truth. They're nothing but liars. All playing us for fools. Now Dylan Roof, again, 33. And this license plate. Indicted on 33 federal counts. Of course, 33 again. Now 2 players in the game, 2 Masons. That never seem to go away because they're part of the stage. See the, again, sound like a broken record, of course, but again, the inverted pyramid hand sign. Cornel West, another puppet in the game, and why not? Doing the Masonic hand sign again. Now, with this news story from I believe it was 2 years now, almost 2 years, with the supposed TSA officer. Now, this is not a racial story, but it is involving removing the guns at a later date. This TSA officer supposedly, they said he bled to death in 33 minutes. Like someone stood right over him while he was dying with the timer, the stopwatch, and timed his death at 33 minutes. Give me a freaking break. Now, another news story from the past, 9/11. How complex they go. The name CC Ross Lyle, CC, of course, like I said earlier, CC is coded for 33. She's 33 years old. In Flight 93 Flight 93 had 33 passengers. So you got 33, 33, and 33. That's 666. Add the 3 and 3 together. It's a 6, a 6, and a 6. All coded. Now this latest story with El Chapo supposedly escaping from prison in Mexico. Of course he dug down 33 feet deep. This hole supposedly, of course. Another player in the world stage. CIA operative. Part of the game. Him and Donald Trump are on the payroll. Now, with this latest Psyop in Louisiana, Lafayette, Louisiana, understand. Let me scroll all the way down here, if I can. Let me go back to the chart. Okay. Move back to the numerology chart. Okay. Understand, Lafayette, Louisiana, coded LL equals 33, just like LL Cool J. They own the music industry as well. Hollywood, they own it all. Own and control it all. That's why when you watch the Simpson, like I said with OJ is 33, the creator of the Simpsons is a Mason, Matt Groening. That's why you see that 30. Look, well, I'll just show it. I won't say it. I'll just show it. So people get the big picture, to understand how the elite own and control it all. That includes Hollywood, the music industry, 33-cent store. Okay? There you go. Now, back to the images. Let me scroll back down. Already seen these, I know, but this thing is playing tricks on me. If I go down too fast, it brings me back to the top. So just bear with me here. I can review these images once again. Now, already mentioned. Okay, now getting back, like I said, Lafayette, Louisiana. Look at these people. Not a single tear. Look at this face. These are actors and actresses in the game. Make no mistake about it. Now, the Tamir Rice, this another hoax shooting. Again, you don't have to read the text. Just look for the numbers. 330, supposedly when he was shot. Now, this new story, this girl, the big smile on her face, supposedly lost her entire family to a 33-year-old shooter. Let's take a look at that video here. This is completely ridiculous, how people buy what they see on TV. It's like little kids that believe in Santa Claus when they watch TV. They don't understand. They're being played for fools when you watch television programming.
Cassidy had a bullet wound to the head, but amazingly called 911 after the attack to ID the shooter. 33-year-old Ronald Lee Haskell had entered
Oh, what an amazing coincidence. A 33-year-old shooter.
the home looking for his former wife, a relative. He was apprehended after a 4-hour standoff.
Smiling, being coached by this man here. I'm sure a CIA operative. Just a young crisis actor. She's loving the limelight. She loves the attention she's getting. All the devil signs. Make no mistake about this. It's not I love you. This is a sign for Satan. People are given false meanings to what they really mean. If they really knew what it meant, they wouldn't throw it up. But she knows what it is. She's told to do this.
On the path to recovery, Cassidy spoke of the family she's
Big
lost.
smile.
Her parents, her
Being
2 brothers
coached.
and 2 sisters, aged 4 to 14.
I really like Harry Potter.
Just lost your entire family. Telling everybody in a news conference how you love Harry Potter. Yeah. Okay. Makes perfect sense.
In The Prisoner of Azkaban, Dumbledore says, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times.
Rubbing the eye. Just like Obama did. No tears.
If one only remembers to turn on the light.
Speaking the
I
lines.
know that my mom, Dad, Brian, Emily, Becca, and Zach are in a much better place, and then I'll be able to see them again one day.
First responders credit the brave teenager with saving lives. When she died,
Yeah. Saving lives. Supposedly, she was shot in the head as well. Now look what happens here.
911, she warned police Haskell was on his way to
This
another
guy
home.
holds her right in her head. They said she was shot in the head as well, but survived. You know, people watching on TV, it must be true. Why would they lie to us? This is their method of control. Fear, division.
To
That's all the
find
news
more
about.
relatives of his ex-wife.
Complete joke. We're getting back to the images. Get rid of this. Now, again, with the symbols, like Confucius once said, talking about all the symbols that I mentioned earlier in this video, signs and symbols rule the world, not words nor laws. Understand this. There's nothing new under the sun. Now listen to this Freemason, a rare clip from CNN that actually talk about masonry. A Mason talks. Let's hear him what he has to say.
As a 33rd degree Mason, the highest level in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Congressman Ray Hall acknowledges there are a lot of secrets and codes, but he says they're not sinister.
Of course they're not.
So are you trying to rule the world?
Well, let's say no. But if we were, would I tell you? No.
Yeah, exactly. This is complete mockery. Everything's coded with these guys. Love to mock. All about mockery. Telling the truth with a smile. Enough of these people. Okay, now back to the images. Again, we already saw this. Now, again with Lafayette. Let me go back to Lafayette, Louisiana again. Another theater shooting. One thing I want to point out, they love to have these in public places. This is part of the fear. In theaters, in malls, in schools. They love to add fear, like it could happen to you. Now, this story here, with the road rage incident, supposedly, again with the 33, Citrus County, you get the 33, another psyop. No one died, no one got hurt. Now, understand who carries all these PSYOP news stories. CNN. And guess where they're located? On the 33rd parallel. Amazing coincidence, isn't it? Now, you say, okay, I can no longer trust CNN. They're lying to us. Let me watch Fox News. Here's the problem. Fox News in numerology is 666. The game is rigged. Everything you see on TV is controlled. So every channel you turn on, you're going to be lied to. And it's funny, the devil's deception. Fox News. Now, one last thing I want to point out here is with all these PSYOPs, and that includes Boston, you're going to get the occult. The finish line with the Boston Marathon, again, another PSYOP, another hoax. As mockery, the finish line for the Boston Marathon was 666 Bolston Street in Boston.
The story of O.J. Simpson goes to the heart of the racial divide in America.
This was the first wall-to-wall televised trial, the perfect soap opera.
I'm Jim Moran. Los Angeles court is once again in session.
Reporter Jim Moran covered the trial for CNN.
It was something that you had to watch. You have a football hero. You have a beautiful blonde ex-wife. You have a good-looking young man who's killed. If you wrote this drama, no one would believe it. If you wrote this drama, no one would believe it.
Objection is sustained.
The bearded judge, Lance Ito, with those signature specs. Just one of a bizarre set of characters who became a household name.
You couldn't cast this trial any better.
Beautiful star in my daytime drama. When I ask a question or an answer, see you dancing, romancing.
It was believed that Shapiro, at the time a close friend of Bailey, wanted to bring Bailey aboard to resuscitate his career and at the same time avail himself of his considerable intelligence and experience.
Defendant O.J. Simpson has the right to have his case decided by this jury and not some
Alan Dershowitz.
John Golden was 25, an aspiring actor, loving son, and young man ready for marriage.
I have to spend the next, 50, 60 years of my life alone, knowing that the person that I was expecting to live with is gone. 50, 60 years of my life.
Incredible discrepancy between horrific events that she describes and her very, very cool demeanor. And if you look closely, you'll see duping delight throughout this video.
But at night, when I close my eyes, I can see Christy reaching her hand out to me while I'm driving, and the blood just keep coming out of her mouth. And that, maybe it'll fade too with time, but I don't think so. That haunts me the most.
Ricky Kleeman, we've been here now for 9 months following this, and now that you see the outcome, aside from the fact that it came so swiftly, what's your reaction?
Well, I think that My reaction is that...
I've never seen you almost speechless, Rick.
Well, I'm looking at my hands, Fred, and they are as soaking wet as if it had been a verdict that I was on either side. And
to sit in court and look at the back of O.J. Simpson's head, you know, sitting ahead of you, and listening and never being able to say anything.
Yeah, I learned how to sit on my hands a lot and bite the insides of my cheeks. It's very frustrating, and I know that's what Travis's family is dealing with right now, wanting to scream and wanting to defend him because he's not here to defend himself, wanting to cheer on the prosecutor, wanting to probably submit questions. It's very frustrating, and I know that's what Travis's family is dealing with right now, wanting to scream and wanting to defend him because he's not here to defend himself.
To listen to Cochran and Shapiro and all of them stand up there and proclaim all the innocence and try your case according to the evidence. Okay, you don't have to bring in all this other crap. You don't have to say that everybody's a racist, everybody's a liar. If your client is so innocent, then the evidence should prove that. You shouldn't have to pull in all this other baloney.
The chief suspect, O.J. Simpson, famous football star, and Nicole's former husband. Ron Goldman's sister, Kim, heard the news from her father, Fred.
He said, "Did you hear the news? Did you hear about O.J. Simpson and Nicole Brown?" I said, who are these people? What is happening? And then he said, Ron's dead. And I didn't understand right away, and then he repeated it again, and I remember I was kind of spiraling. I went down to the floor.
At one point, Kim even considered getting even with the man she believed killed her brother.
Didn't you spot Simpson in a parking lot at some point?
I did. I had my foot on the pedal. I was white knuckling the steering wheel, and I was revving, thinking I could take him out. I'm the only one. There's nobody here. I could do this. I could do this.
Did you really send him a card saying welcome to your new home? Mm-hmm. Did you really send him a card saying welcome to your new home?
Mm-hmm. It's all the fun we can have here. It's all the fun we can have here.
Not to forget Mark, our victim's advocate.
His captors,
as Americans,
I think the prosecutor rushed to bring charges, and then chose to charge Mr. Zimmerman with second-degree murder.
Join me now with reaction to this and much more. Former LAPD Detective Mark Furman. Mark, first your reaction to that. It seems that a lot of people here have rushed to judgment. It happens often in high-profile cases like this. What's your reaction?
Well, Sean, you know, a homicide investigation, which this is, should be conducted in a vacuum so the detectives cannot be sidetracked by all this drama going on.
When I look at Eric Garner, if nothing else, these officers are guilty of poor judgment. And I'm not saying that the police have to look the other way when they think the law is broken. But sometimes you have to balance things and look at a situation and say, hey, is this really worth it?
Picked her up, threw her against a wall. Picked her up, threw her out of the house.
What did the defendant say about your sister's weight while she was pregnant?
I used to call her a fat pig. He used to comment like this all the time.
Can he make hand gestures?
Yes.
Holding both hands apart as you just indicated on the record?
Yes.
All right, the clerk is directed to record the verdicts as read. All right, the clerk is directed to record the verdicts as read.
I don't think one member of my family cried. We were so stunned. I mean, I at least thought that there was going to be a hung jury. I guess I just still had that hopes of it being a hung jury. But I couldn't cry. I was like numb. I was like dead. I was like shocked that it went that route. But then on the other hand, I wasn't shocked at all because of what had happened throughout the whole process of the trial. And when we went in the back, we were taken upstairs into the DA's office again. And Gil Garcetti comes in and makes his little speech of, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought, you son of a bitch, you heartless son of a bitch, you're so sorry. You turned this thing into a goddamn mockery of a trial, and you're so sorry."
When Gabe and I left the detention center, my only focus up till this point in time has been securing Mr. Simpson's release from
Nice work, dude. Up high.
Thank you very much.
Yes, right here. Come on, don't let me hang.
Thank you. And I appreciate that.
Thank you, buddy. Nice work.
Is your client innocent or not guilty? I'm not sure there's a difference in the eyes of the law.
He's both, dude. He's innocent and not guilty. Thank you.
So far, I can't talk about that. So far, I am incredibly impressed at how.
And let me say, as we move forward, I'm sure that the chief has other things he may put out there. We believe the most important thing, not any kind of pictures, is people will always create sideshows in situations like this. People will always create sideshows in situations like this.
I had told you. You listening?
Well, maybe we could break until the morning if that was.
No. I'm leaving down today.
What's that? I'm sorry.
I'm leaving today. No.
Are you refusing to come back tomorrow?
To you?
Are you refusing
Okay,
to come?
we need to keep this a question and answer about her testimony.
I think we should plan on at least a couple of hours.
What? Excuse me.
I'm forever grateful that you saved my life. A knife! A knife! I ain't gonna go blind.
I think that it all started with my understanding of what the purpose of my fraternity was, and those who went before me.
But Garcetti hasn't strayed too far from the law or politics. He became a script consultant for TV dramas like The Closer.
I'll be investigating your victim for murder, and you can leave.
And his son is now the mayor of Los Angeles.
Writing novels and being in the courtroom, it's a storytelling job. No matter how you look at it, it's the same thing.
Don't want a hard patch, just a few facts. Misuse and abuse. You write your story. Ask word for playtime. Time for love.
In total, the jury slapped O.J. with $33.5 million in damages.
We, the jury, in the above entitled case,
13 years to the day after he was acquitted of murders and sentenced to a maximum of 33 years in prison.
Isn't it ironic that 32 is the number and they put him in room 32? That is.
What's the chances of that? What's the chances of that?